Spurs up next for Manchester United at Old Trafford now after 3 wins on the bounce of Michael Carrick against Manchester City, Arsenal and Fulham. Manchester United definitely going into this game as the favourites and one of the most informed teams in the league right now. Now again, it's another big game for Michael Carrick, another difficult game for Manchester United. But Tottenham, I think, are a team that are definitely there for the taking. I think Tottenham are a team who of late haven't been great, and I think it's going to be a fascinating game, a game full of good moments and great moments. So let's get into the Manchester United team news. Now, at the time of recording, no delay in training and no Mason Mount in training. They are the main two absentees. Mason Mount being out again is not a concern. I think Mason Mount should be sold for Manchester United, but that is a different factor in itself. In terms of everyone else, they are available. Now, I think this is going to be, as I said, a difficult game. United, unbeaten in their last 3 under Michael Carrick, and showed great signs of progression, showed a lot of fight, energy, and all 3 performances that we've seen have been 3 different performances from the team, and 3 good performances in that aspect, and different jobs that they needed to do. Now, Tottenham form a different test. Tottenham are a team who you get looked here on the counter-attack. They can definitely score goals. And Thomas Frank has been under a lot of pressure. They don't sit in a good position in the league. They're a team struggling right now. And I think, as I said, Manchester United can definitely take a day for the taking. I've seen their last game in the league, they have been switching from a 3-4-2-1 to a 3-4-3. They got a draw against Man City, 2 goals from Dom Solanke to get them the points. But listen, you look at how their league has been since they've won the Europa League and Thomas Frank has come in. 24 games played, they've only won 7. Compare that to Manchester United, 24 games played, 11 wins. So United considerably better form than them. They haven't won in the last 5 in the league. And they're a team, as I said, that are massively struggling. Now, as I said, Tottenham away form is actually pretty good. They picked up 19 of their 29 points away from home this season. So that's something to be concerned about. But listen, as I said, let's talk about the Manchester United team. Now, this is the team that I would go for in the game. I wouldn't make any changes. I'd keep Lamons in goal. I'd keep the back 4 of Dalot, Maguire, Martinez and Shaw. I'd go Casemiro, Menu midfield. Ahmad, Bruno, Cunha and MBUEMO. Now, it would be so unfortunate for SESKO to miss out. And I think the real question is it SESKO or Ahmad really? Because MBUEMO has to play. So it's either SESKO comes in for Ahmad, and then MBUEMO goes to the right, and then you bring Ahmad on towards the end of the game, or you keep that team that's there. And I think you shouldn't change that team. I know SESKO come on, but I think in terms of what Spurs are going to offer, they are a team that can score goals. They're a physical team. I think we won't need runs in behind from MBUEMO. I think you can definitely get in behind this Spurs team. So that's why I would go with MBUEMO through the middle. But yeah, that would be my team. I think that is a team. We know how Spurs are going to play. Listen, they're a team that don't really dominate much possession in games. They're a quite defensive team, but I've watched them many times this season. I watched them against Villa in the Cup, where they got absolutely decimated. Just 1-2 quick passes through the lines you can definitely get at this Spurs team. Yeah, so they're definitely a team they can get. In midfield, they've not been great. They have been, as I said, experimenting with a 3-4-2-1 system. So that, again, that could be something that United can benefit. They haven't played that system too much. They have been kind of chopping and changing. So again, against City, you went with a free back. Could you potentially go with a free back there? Again, as I said, the clean sheets this season. 7 clean sheets, which is considerably better than Manchester United, to be honest. But again, I think defensively they're just not great as a team, and I think you can definitely get at them, whether that's Romero being a reckless challenge. Again, I think they do have quite a few players out injured, and that's something that potentially will have a part to play in that. Some of the players that they have out injured, I believe Pedro Porro's out, Ben Davies, Van der Ven's doubtful for the game, Bentancur, Maddison, Bergvall, Kulusevski, Kudus, Richarlison. So, listen, they have got quite a few injuries, but as I said, that would be my stronger team that I would go for. I think that's the team. I think there's no reason to change it. I think the approach is going to be different in this Spurs game. I think you more take the game to them, especially being at Old Trafford as well. When we played them a few months ago, it was a 2-0 draw and we needed a late goal from De Ligt, but I just don't think we deserve to lose that game. And listen, Spurs have been a bit of a bogey team for United. We haven't beaten them since, I believe, 2022. So they are a bit of a difficult team for Manchester United to play. But you look at United, I mean, great form at home this season. 2 wins out of 3 at home. Or 2 wins out of 2, at home in the Premier League under Carrick. So, listen, we definitely go into the game as favourites. Now, let's look at the Tottenham team. As I said, this was a team from the last game. I don't expect many changes. Obviously, they brought in Conor Gallagher. We know the power and creativity that he has. You know, Udogie can be a problem down that side. But, I mean, you look at that defence. It's a makeshift sort of defence. Dragison's coming back from a long-term injury. Polina hasn't been great this season, especially in a wide centre-back. So you look at that Manchester United team, the likes of Ahmad and MBUEMO can really stretch them and really utilise them. Utilise the threats that we have. I expect United to be the team dominating possession in this game and taking the game to Spurs ultimately as they should. And as I said, Villa played through them. City at times, again, got at them, and the goals that they scored were fantastic goals from City. But they were a team that you can definitely get at, and they haven't been great defensively under Thomas Frank this season. Yes, they have 7 clean sheets, but defensively they're not great. And yeah, I think it's going to be a game full of big moments, full of goals. As I said, starts this season as a team here. So goals per match, 1.5 goals, which is 8 in the league. They concede 1.4. In terms of average possession, they average 51% possession per game. United actually have the most shots on target, and the second amount of goals this season, or third amount of goals this season. So, listen, I expect it to be a game in which United score many goals. Now, in terms of what this means for Michael Carrick, as I said, it's a big game, a big opportunity. I think it's another chance to just keep this momentum, and momentum is a hell of a word, and we need to utilise the momentum that we have. We've beaten Arsenal, we've beaten City, we've beaten Fulham in the manner that we did. And as I said at the start, 3 very different performances. Against City, we controlled that game and we took the game to them. At Arsenal, it was a bit more difficult. We had to defend a lot of times, but we utilised our moments when we had to spring and be quick on the press. Against Fulham, it was a game which in large part we dominated, but then we had to find a way to come back. So 3 very different games, but 3 very impressive performances from the team. And I expect United to dominate this game. And I'm hoping we can get some goals and just see a free-flowing Manchester United performance. As I said, Bruno's going to be key. Obviously, on a personal record for him, he'll be looking to break that assist record. He needs 9 assists in 14 games, which I don't think is impossible for a player like him. I think you look at the attacking players that we have. I think it's going to be interesting to see how United defend. I think we've seen a 4-4-2, but depending on what what Spurs play, it'll be interesting to see our defensive shape. But I expect it to be a compact 4-4-2. We utilised that 3-2-5 shape in possession that we saw very well against Fulham. There were so many opportunities, so many moments in that game where it was an obvious 3-2-5. Dalot tucking in, Martinez and Maguire making a back 3. It was Casemiro, Menu as a midfield 2, and then Shaw, Ahmad, and MBUEMO, Cunha, Bruno making that front 5. And I think that's what we have to do. I think Spurs definitely have mistakes in them. They are quite a rash team, and I think the result is there for the taking. Now, in terms of Manchester United, I think we're going to win. Our last few games have been brilliant. We've scored a lot of goals. 3 goals against Fulham, 5 against City. Should have been 5 anyway, but we obviously scored 2 and 3 against Arsenal. So there's been quite a lot of goals, and I think Carrick's approach to this game is going to be the same like the others. Just go out, put in a good performance, and get the job done ultimately. And that's the thing that I think Manchester United can do. And I think that's what we have to do, really. We can't allow Spurs to come to Old Trafford and take the game to us. It has to be the same approach from the start. And again, it's going to be a tricky game. I'm going to go a narrow 2 on Manchester United win. Typically in United Spurs games of late, there hasn't been many goals. I know in the Carabao Cup game it was 4-3, but yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 United win. Imagine if we keep a clean sheet, that would be good. But again, same approach, same mentality, and hopefully United get the job done. Peace.